organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, what the UI Student Health Office is doing to help students kick the habit.
Plus, meet the UI's Employee of the Year, how he earned the title coming up.
And in sports, the Bats made a comeback for the Hawkeye baseball team. Highlights from the impressive offensive performance coming up in sports.
That's all coming your way next, right here on Daily Iowan TV.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Good evening and welcome into your Thursday edition of Daily Iowan TV. I'm Lauren Moss.
And I'm Jake Abrams. The UI student government elections kicked off on Wednesday and ended Thursday evening. Students could choose one of the parties, the I Party or the hashtag party, to be elected as president and vice president, and up to 39 senators out of a selection of about 75. Voting took place on the UI's student website, ISIS, and results will be released on Friday. To get a full recap of the student government's elections, tune into the Sunday edition of Daily Iowan TV.
As a part of the UI's goal to provide a healthier environment for students and staff, the University of Iowa was made into a smoke-free campus back in 2009. Now, just 3 years later, Daily Iowan TV's Nick Rector takes a look at what the UI has done to maintain their goal of a smoke-free and healthy campus.
It was only 3 years ago when students at Iowa could freely walk around campus, lighting, puffing, and putting out cigarettes wherever they please. Now, because of the UI's smoke-free campus rule, students can't smoke a cigarette anywhere on campus without running the risk of getting a $75 ticket. But stopping tobacco use can be hard, which is why the UI's Student Health Department is helping students quit by providing one-on-one meetings with a UI health educator.
We talk about any past quit attempts that they've had. We usually go through the pros and cons of different methods of quitting. Then we talk about their triggers and barriers to change and possible strategies that they might be able to use to overcome those.
Appointments can be set up by calling Student Health, and while in the meetings, counselors will find a specific quit plan to help a smoker's needs or habits. Prescriptions are even given out to smokers to help them quit at times. But how many UI students are actually taking advantage of this?
I'd say only about 15 to 20 students. That has definitely gone down in the past few years, but smoking rates have gone down as well.
There could be less smoking on campus because smoking numbers have gone down, but it could also be that no one wants to pay a $75 fine for smoking a 30-cent cigarette. Nick Rector, Daily Iowan TV.
If you want help to quit smoking without setting up an appointment, you can also call Quit Line Iowa, a free phone-based hotline to help Iowans quit smoking.
This week, President Barack Obama appointed UI faculty member Christopher Merrill to the National Council on the Humanities. The council is part of a federal agency made up of 26 members and focuses on providing support for the learning of history, literature, and philosophy across the nation. The National Council on Humanities also gives grants to schools so they can offer more humanities opportunities. Merrill is currently the director of the UI International Writing Program, who led the charge for Iowa City to become one of the 5 UNESCO Cities of Literature back in 2008.
And another U of I faculty member is receiving recognition. The University of Iowa recently announced its Employees of the Year. Daily Iowan TV's Josh Bolander sat down with one of the recipients.
Thousands of new students will become part of the UI community when the class of 2017 rolls into Iowa City next fall. And while school and being on their own for the first time may be a culture shock to some, it's not the only thing the new kids on the block will have to get adjusted to. Independence also means finding a job, and while a number of UI students do manage to balance their books and budgets with a part-time job here at the UI, very few do it better than Ryan Hirschberger.
I'm mostly in charge of deployments of computers, so if a department needs new computers, I will install the operating system and all the software, and then take the computer to the location.
The Informatics and Sociology Cognate major was one of 9 students to receive the University Student Employee of the Year award. something Hirschberger was humbled by.
It does mean a lot. I've worked here for a year, and it's nice. It's good encouragement to keep trying and keep trying to better myself.
As for how a student in charge of a Big Ten university's desktop tech support and informatics major is able to balance a full school workload,
balancing work and school, the university is great as far as 20 hours a week. That's all you can work.
As the summer nears and more UI students flock outdoors, let us not forget our student workers, making the impossible a reality. Josh Bolander, Daily Iowan TV.
And still much more to come on Daily Iowan TV.
As swimsuit season approaches, what's your definition of in shape? If you answered skinny or thin, well, you're wrong. We'll show you what we mean.
And coming up in sports, Drake visited Pearl Field last night. See how the Bulldogs fared against the Hawks.
But first, let's check in with Daily Iowan TV's Taysha Woods for a look at our weekend weather. Taysha?
Well, guys, it's been bright and sunny today, and with highs only reaching lower 60s, a bit chilly. Tomorrow we'll have sunny skies throughout the day and with some cooler temperatures. The morning will start off with a high of just 41 degrees, then in the afternoon a high of 53 degrees. And tomorrow evening will settle into a high of 47. Into your 6-day forecast, we can expect similar temperatures with highs only reaching the lower 60s this weekend and upper 50s mid-next week. And with only a 30% chance of rain on Saturday, the week should have a fair amount of sun and clear skies. Back to you at the desk.
All right, thanks, Taysha. Well, when it comes to fitness, sometimes you have to take matters into your own hands and, well, just do it. That's exactly what one UI senior did in order to get in shape. Daily Iowan TV's Muriel Kone explains.
With the busy schedule as a Junior Achievement volunteer, finding a time to work out seemed impossible for UI senior Keisha Fields, and taking morning classes required some dedication.
It's pretty much the enjoyment of the class that is my dedication. Like, I love the class so much that it's worth getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
The excuses also went away with a little change in location.
I used to work out at the rec center, but it's just a little bit too far. The core it's in Iowa City, also in North Liberty where I live, so it's like right down the street. So there's no excuse for me not to work out.
And I guess there's no excuses when you have a good instructor.
The instructor was amazing. She was like, I guess, intriguing and encouraging. So it was really good, and it kept on helping me push to keep on going, even though I missed a couple of steps.
Missing a couple of steps isn't all she needs to consider when getting in shape. What she eats is also important.
More whole grains, at least half of the grains we eat should be whole grains. More fruits, more vegetables. Trying to eat fresh or frozen fruits and vegetables as much as possible to get the most nutrition from those.
And with a pretty healthy diet plan in motion, here's what she hopes to get out of it.
I really don't want to lose weight. I'm already skinny as it is. I just want to get toned and just be more comfortable with my body. I'm not one to show off my body, but if I do, I want it to look good.
So if you find yourself constantly making up excuses, finding a good motivation is definitely a step in the right direction. This is Muriel Kone, Daily Iowan TV.
And now for a look beyond Iowa, people in Egypt are questioning the rising power of the Muslim Brotherhood political party. A year ago, the group announced it would not be involved in this year's presidential race, but that was before they won the most seats in the parliament in a recent election. And now the group has been nominated to a member to run for the executive position. Critics say the group's goal may be to implement their programs in this country.
And the United States Post Office is on a mission to save $20 billion over the next 3 years by closing plants and post offices, making thousands of job cuts and reducing services. But a recent study found that the cutbacks could result in more than $5 billion in lost business and a drop of almost 8% in mail volume. And many critics say that the cuts will drive away even more customers.
In Washington, D.C., President Obama signed the Jobs Act into law today. JOBS stands for Jumpstart Our Business Startups. It will make things easier for entrepreneurs raising investor money for new businesses. The law received strong bipartisan support.
But back here in the Iowa sunshine, the baseball team continues its homestand at Dwayne Banks Field. So let's turn it over to Chelsea Byrne to see how the Hawks looked in last night's game. Chelsea?
It's opening day all around the major leagues, putting baseball back on everyone's mind. The Hawkeye baseball team is well into their season already, though, and managed to get their first sweep of the year Wednesday night. Taking on South Dakota State in a 2-game midweek series at Dwayne Banks Field, here's Daily Iowan TV's Kate Constable with more.
The Hawks got out to a hot start on Tuesday afternoon as seniors Mike McQuillan, Chet Zeese, Bill Kepler, and junior Andrew Host tallied 12 runs to set the tempo throughout the game. However, the team's strong offense started in the first inning with 4 runs on the board, and head coach Jack Dom was quite pleased.
I thought we executed very well. We ran the bases aggressively. We used our bunt game, ran the bases aggressively, did some good things and came up with some timely hits, and that's outstanding. And I thought we swung the bat pretty good throughout the game.
Hitting wasn't the only aspect of Tuesday's game that Coach Dom felt was successful. 10 guys took the mound against the Jackrabbits as freshmen Andrew Hedrick, Ryan Rumpf, and Nick Hibbing threw great games.
So our staff for young pitchers going out there, that was, 3 freshmen out there. They handled themselves pretty well today. I was pretty happy, and we scored enough early. We're starting to hang out. We got to do a little better job of continuing to tack on runs. Don't be satisfied with 4 runs.
In Wednesday's game, they did just that as they tacked on 11 runs throughout the game. After being tied 4-4, the Hawks opened the bottom of the 6th with 1 run walked in and the bases loaded. Freshman Jake Yasnich hit his first career triple to bring 3 more runs in and put the Hawks up 8-4. And in the 7th and 8th, 3 more runs crossed the plate to finish the game 11-4 and give the Hawks the W. I'm Kate Constable, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
The Hawks will travel to Nebraska tonight for a 3-game weekend series against the Cornhuskers. And last night, the Iowa women's softball team lost 1-0 against the Drake Bulldogs. Both teams fought hard in the 6th and 7th innings, but it was the Bulldogs who snatched the win. Iowa's starting pitcher Kayla Massey allowed 1 run on 6 hits in the game. Sophomore Michelle Zoller had a pinch hit and ended up advancing to second off a throwing error right here, but Iowa was unable to do anything with that as they lose to Drake by giving up some sloppy runs that Coach Looper wasn't so happy about after the game.
2 outs, we get an out no matter where it is, and the run doesn't score. We work on it day in, day out. It's like putting your shoes on and tying them every day. It's something we do, and there was just a little bit of lackadaisicalness, and we let her walk in and score, and that's not what we do, and it's not how we play ball. So I guarantee we'll be working on that again tomorrow.
After last night's game, Iowa falls to 14-18 on the season. And they return to action next Saturday in a doubleheader at Northwestern. For the first time on Wednesday night, the Iowa men's tennis team faced off with Nebraska as the conference newcomers came to the Hawkeye Tennis Recreation Complex. Already a season of ups and downs, Iowa struggled to keep up with their new Big Ten opponent. The day started off with doubles matches. Garrett Dunn and Michael Swank were in the top doubles position for Iowa and held onto a lead for some time, but then fell to Nebraska, losing the match 8-5. Will Vassos and Matt Hagan kept Iowa competitive after securing a win at the number 2 doubles position, but then the Cornhuskers took a 1-0 advantage after defeating the Hawks in the 3rd doubles match. Iowa tied the match up, but Nebraska would go on to win 8-6. The Cornhuskers then went on to win the first 3 single matches to get their first win against Iowa in the Big Ten Conference. Iowa will host another Big Ten opponent tomorrow. They take on number 23 ranked Indiana at 2 p.m. Jake and Lauren, back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Chelsea. Well, you recognize these dance moves? Seriously, because if you do, it's pretty important. This man caught busting a move on camera, broke into a city tour vehicle with 2 accomplices. Police released this video hoping someone would be able to identify the man, only based on his dance steps. Hey. And you can dance on over to grab an edition of the Daily Iowan on Friday morning. Here's a sneak peek of tomorrow's pages.
Find out what UIHC officials think about a national organ donation registry.
Plus, a new bill that allows school districts to ask for more money to fund dropout prevention programs.
That's your latest edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check us out at the same time on Sunday or anytime online at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for watching and have a great night.